What's up, guys? Classy Metal here, up entirely too early on this Sunday morning. I want to go back to bed, but I am jacked up on Christmas tree cakes and Mountain Dew, so that is not an option at this point in time. I figured if I'm going to be wired on sugar, I might as well knock out a good old-fashioned collection update video for you guys today. I have a huge stack of stuff that just keeps growing. I just haven't had the time or the oomph to knock out the videos like I should. So I figured today would be a good day to kind of chip away and start doing that. These are purchases that I made around Black Friday, some a little bit earlier. The Postal Service is an absolute mess right now. USPS is it's in shambles. So at this point, we just kind of take what we can get when we can get it and be thankful that the stuff actually showed up. The first things I'm going to show, I actually did this order a little bit before Black Friday. I've had it in my possession for a little bit as well. Metal Blade Records had a sale going on their indie merch store. They had some shirts going pretty cheap. They had some CDs. I picked up a couple CDs and 3 shirts, but I'm not going to show the shirts in this video just because they're in the wash. As I said, I've had this for a little bit, and I just haven't had the time to show it yet. The first album that I actually picked up was from the band Portrait. I did pick this shirt up with it. This is the shirt that was for the release of Burn the World, which is the name of this album. This came out in 2017. Portrait is a traditional heavy metal band. They're a band that I was really into, I'd say, about 10 years or so ago. They had a self-titled debut that was really, really good. They had a follow-up to that self-titled that was complete. The album title was in Latin, so I'm not going to humor you and butcher that album title. Then they kind of fell off my radar. I didn't have any in my collection, so I didn't really just seek them out or listen to. And as I said, they just kind of fell off my radar. Didn't think about them for a while. Saw this on this sale that they had going on indie merch, and I went ahead and pulled the trigger because I listened to it, dug it quite a bit, and I liked it enough, obviously, to get the CD and the shirt. I think the CD was a couple bucks. The shirt was like $5, so I couldn't pass that up. This is really good traditional, like new wave, traditional heavy metal. They're not reinventing the wheel as far as traditional heavy metal goes. There's been like this huge revival of that classic heavy metal sound going on. They've been a huge part of that. Very talented musicians, very talented guys. The fact that they can stand out in a genre where everything that has been done, that can be done, has pretty much been done. The fact that they're able to stand out in that like sea of bands going on is a testament to how well they're able to perform that style of music. So definitely, if you're into that kind of new wave of traditional heavy metal, you'll probably be into Portrait. Obviously, you probably already know Portrait if you're into that style of music. And then this next album that I picked up is a band that I've been seeing kind of touted quite a bit lately. This is Lick. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It might be like, but Lik, with Mass Funeral Evocation. I have not given this one the amount of attention that it deserves. I think this came out in 2018. Pretty good death metal, straightforward death metal. I want to spend a little bit more time with this one. I hate being that guy that sitting here showing something a collection update and I can't speak on it just too much. Gotten a ton of stuff in, so everything's kind of jockeying for position in the CD rotation as of late. This what I've heard of it is pretty good, traditional death metal, but looking forward to spending a little bit more time with that. Next up is a group of CDs that I picked up from Mad Rush Media on eBay. Mad Rush Media, I mean, if you're a CD collector, you've probably bought from Mad Rush Media just because it's a necessary thing at this point as far as the price points go. If you have not done so, get on eBay, find Mad Rush Media, because they have stuff at a cheaper price than especially like some of the imported stuff. A lot of times you can find that cheaper than you're going to pay on an artist Bandcamp or straight from the label if it's overseas. So that being said, the first order was 2 CDs, and then the order I did around Black Friday-ish was 5. The first order, I picked up Lie in Ruins with Floating in Timeless Streams. pretty good Finnish death metal. Definitely has doom influences going on this. I've been getting into this band quite a bit lately. I showed them in a collection update video not too terribly long ago. I picked up a stack of albums from the eBay seller that goes by Jagger Jones. I've shown several collection update videos where I had purchased from that. One of the Lion Ruins albums that I got out of a previous stack of those was probably my favorite release out of that stack. So I started digging deeper into their discography, and then I found out that they had an album that came out this year. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger. Solid stuff. I mean, they don't disappoint. Dark Descent Records. When you see that Dark Descent, you know you're into. 9 times out of 10, you're getting a very solid slab of death metal from Dark Descent, and Lion Ruins is no different. Very doom heavy stuff going on that, but it is super solid. Will it make my end of the year list? Who knows? Hopefully I'll have that video uploaded next week, so stay tuned for that. And then I picked up the newest EP from My Dying Bride. They've had a full length and an EP out this year at this point. This is kind of one of those little quarantine gems that we got, a little something extra from people not having, not being able to go out and do other things. They've been creating music. So, I mean, that's one positive from everything that's gone on this year. This is a solid EP at this point in their career. I don't see My Dying Bride doing anything wrong. This is just as solid as their full length that they put out earlier in the year. Amazing stuff, amazing doom metal. Love My Dying Bride. Next up is one that I finally picked up something from this band. People are constantly singing the praises of this project, and rightfully so. It's a good project, a good band. I just had never taken that initiative to pull the trigger and actually purchase something of theirs. I'm glad to finally own something at this point. This is Of Feather and Bone with Sulfuric Disintegration. Good little slab of kind of gnarly death metal. Little blackened vibes going on in this here and there. Nasty stuff. Sulfuric sounding, if that makes any sense. Good 2020 release here from Profound Lore. They've kind of hit their stride as a label as well. Releasing and producing some fantastic releases as of late. Feather and Bone. I mean, I completely get the hype behind this band. It is that good. It kind of has that sulfuric sound. I don't know if that makes any sense. That hellfire kind of death metal. Good stuff there. Next up, we have the newest EP from Carcass. This is Despicable. Really good little EP. I mean, it leaves you wanting more, so that's always a plus for an EP. I mean, is it the best EP I ever heard? No. Does it have a couple solid tracks that are that could stand out there with anything else that Carcass has done? Absolutely. So it does have me excited to hear some more full-length material from this band. I dig it, and as I said, makes it completes its it succeeds in its purpose as an EP because it leaves you thirsting for more, leaves you wanting more from the band. So on that point, it's a win. So Carcass with Despicable, I do dig it for what it is. Next up, we have a band that doesn't, I don't know if it's just because it's in the mainstream now or what, they don't kind of get the recognition that I feel like they deserve. They kind of get ragged on a little bit, and I don't really get it because it is well-performed death metal. This is Insidious Disease with After Death. Went completely blank there for a second. Good Norwegian death metal on Nuclear Blast. I'm hoping that some people may have picked this up recently on the Nuclear Blast Black Friday sale. I ordered 2 fairly big orders from that Nuclear Blast sale, and only one of them has shipped. It has not made it here yet. Still waiting on the other to even ship, so we'll see when those get here. It'll probably be after the first of the year before I do a video on those. But as far as Insidious Disease goes, well-performed, talented death metal going on right there. Next up, we have some thrashy death metal with Plague Year's Circle of Darkness. Given this one quite a few spins, I need to go back to it. I liked it enough. It stayed in the truck with me for a little bit when this order came in. It has been replaced, obviously, now, but I do dig this for what it is. Good little solid slab of thrashy death metal. Then we have the newest release from Benediction entitled Scriptures. This one has been all over. You guys have already seen this 100 times now. So, I mean, I'm not going to spend a ton of time. Dave Ingram does a fantastic vocal delivery on this. Benediction is back 100% with this. It's very good. I don't think Benediction has ever released something that I really didn't care a whole lot for. Organized Chaos, that one I can kind of take or leave that one, but everything else in their discography that I've heard, I absolutely love, and Scriptures is no different. Fantastic release right there. Next up, I actually won a giveaway from Vargheist Records and received this album. This is Devin Never with Malleus Philosophorum. Fantastic U.S. black metal. Man, this kind of wreck. I had a general consensus in my head of what my end of the year list was going to be. This one came in and absolutely it shook things up quite a bit. I was not expecting to enjoy this as much as I did. I had not heard of this project before I won that giveaway. I had not heard this album until this CD actually arrived. I put it in and I was absolutely floored. Gave it a listen. Waited on it a little bit because I thought maybe it was just that initial listen. You know, emotionally, I was maybe reading more into this album than I should have. So I gave it a little break, pulled it back out, listened to it again, and it's still just as good upon repeat listens that it was that first time that I listened to it. Fantastic U.S. black metal. If you would have told me that this was USBM before I actually knew, I would have not believed you. Sounds like it could have easily come from Europe somewhere, and it is highly recommended by me that you check this out. Very good stuff. I will give a little spoiler alert. You will absolutely see this again on my end of the year list coming up. I'm going to try to record that next week or so, but definitely you will see that one again. Next up, that is a Black Friday purchase I made. They had a sale going on Primitive Recordings. They had these reissues in a bundle. These are 4 of the Mortician reissues. Just kind of used to be New York death metal. I believe they've relocated to Las Vegas now. So we have Mortician with Mortal Massacre. I had not owned a copy of this EP previously, so I'm glad to have this reissue in my hands. They're all just kind of on these little digi-pack books, but that's fine with me. Love me some Mortician. That one has a lot of live tracks and that type of stuff, but the actual EP material on that one is really solid. We have House by the Cemetery. I actually already owned a copy of that one, but Collector Scum, when the reissues come out, they had all 4 of these for $30, so I went ahead and just pulled the trigger on the 4 reissues that they had available. Hacked Up for Barbecue. Probably. This could be my favorite Mortician release. I actually already owned a full length. I don't know if it was an original copy of this or not, but it was an earlier pressing of this that I already owned. But as I said, Collector Scum. And then we have, this is one that this kind of hit or miss. It's a polarizing release. For me, it's probably my favorite Mortician release, but I know that there's some people that absolutely don't really like this one. This is Zombie Apocalypse. I like the kind of updated artwork on that. I do have an original press as well, which is that artwork, but I like that this one is a little bit different. They put a little bit more into the actual digipack as far as it folds out and stuff. And glad to have that in the collection now. Like I said, I got those. It was $30 for all 4 reissues on their little Black Friday thing that they had going. So went ahead and grabbed all 4. Next up, we have a stack of albums that I picked up. I believe this was Nameless God Distro. Nameless God Records did this sale. If you spent $20, you got 40% off. So all you had to do is add $20 worth of stuff to your cart and then put in the code, and it was 40% off. So that was a heck of a deal. I couldn't pass that up. There was an album that I've been meaning to pick up forever, And I say forever, it came out this year. There was an album on there that I really wanted to get my hands on. We'll put it that way. And the other stuff was just kind of icing on the cake on top of that. The album that I really wanted was from a band called Dragcar. The name of this release was At the Crossroads of Infinity. Stellar death metal release that came out this year. A lot of people have slept on this album. Do yourself a favor and check this out. This is an Unspeakable Acts / Dark Descent co-release. Death metal with hints of black and thrash going on. They kind of have a black and thrash formula for delivering death metal, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Probably doesn't when you just hear my words, but if you actually take the time to listen to this album, you will 100% get what I'm saying, and you will probably dig this album just as much as I do. Fantastic death metal release right here from Dragkar. And then I picked up their one of their EPs, their prior EPs. This one's entitled The Endless Howling Abyss. This one also super stellar release. The full length obviously is my favorite thing that they've put out, but this is a stellar EP they put out in their back catalog. So good stuff here, good band. Check it out. I don't know what else I could possibly say about it, but it's just death metal that is delivered with a black and thrash formula. I mean, it sounds crazy. It sounds a little confusing the way that I put it out. I'm tongue-tied myself, but it's good. Check it out. And then I picked up the Altar of Gore with Obscure and Obscene Gods, kind of bestial black and death metal. Pretty good stuff here. I definitely want to spend a little bit more time with it. I did dig everything that I've heard on this. My first listen I did enjoy. I listened to it once, and I do want to go back and revisit it. So, like I said, just bestial sounding black and death metal. Has that kind of war metal vibe going on with this, and I think you can pick that up pretty heavily from the artwork and the logo and the color scheme on that. So you kind of get what you're expecting from that album. And then one that I was just listening to last night, this is another one that I really dig. This is Azath with Through a Warren of Shadow was the name of this release. I pulled this one off the shelf last night. I was trying to get in on the live stream that they had going on over on Deathlight Reviews, but my internet was not. I have satellite internet, and when it rains, it's not working. So I couldn't even really get in to watch that stream like I wanted. So I took the time to listen to Azath with Through a Warren Shadow. Very good black metal. Has some death metal, even thrashy stuff going on in this as well. But stellar stuff. I had the Skeletor toy out last night, and in my mind I figured Skeletor would really dig some Azath. So yeah, I know I'm kind of goofy. Next up, last year I did a pretty big order from $20 Spin on Black Friday. This year I've been kind of ordering pretty regular from $20 Spin, so I only picked up a couple of albums on their Black Friday sale. One is an album that I've been wanting to pick up since last year. I've been dropping the ball. I'll have it in my cart, remove it, and I finally just had to look, you need this album. It is very good, old school sounding death metal. We have Cerebral Rot with Odious Descent into Decay. If you're into that old school death metal sound, you already know Cerebral Rot. I don't have to go into much detail on this one. You've probably seen this album shown and mentioned so many times since last year. Like I said, I was super late getting myself a copy of this. I'm glad that I actually have a copy now. Very good stuff. This easily probably could have ended up on my end of the year list last year. There was a ton of that old school sounding death metal on my list last year. So this fit right in there with the Witch Vomit, Tomb Mold, that type stuff. This one could have slid easily into that list because it is that good. I also picked up Bedsore with Hypnagogic Hallucinations. Pretty good progressive death metal here. A bit hard to pin down and explain. It's kind of a who's who lineup of band members here. Good stuff out of Italy. I believe a couple of the members are in the band that I showed in my previous 7 Deadly Spins video. That seventh band that I did enjoy that album quite a bit that Transcending Records put out this year. Bedsore has a couple of those members, very talented guys in that. Very good stuff here. As I said, it's kind of progressive sounding death metal, but they perform it very, very well. Last thing that I'm going to show in this video was a 3 CD stack. I got these on eBay from Reaper Metal Productions. I think the eBay tag on there is like Heavy Metal Relics or something along those lines. There was an album that came out this year that I've been looking to get my hands on that was in this. I got all 3 of these CDs for $15. I think the price of the lot now is $17. I will link it up as well as this other stuff, as I said earlier, in the description. The one that I wanted that was in this lot was Ladybeast with the Vulture's Amulet. Female fronted, traditional heavy metal, has a few hinges of power metal here and there, but Deborah Levine, or Deborah Levine, I'm not sure how she pronounces her last name, does a fantastic job on this album, as she always has with Ladybeast. I believe they've been kind of plodding along since 2008, 2009, I'm wanting to say. Very good, well-performed traditional heavy metal. I know this will probably end up on a few people's end of the year list, and I can absolutely 100% see why. It is very, very good, well-performed, very talented stuff. I dug it quite a bit. Next up was one that was in this lot, and this was like between this and the Ladybeast together in this lot, I had to pull the trigger. This is a reissue that Reaper Metal did from this album. I think originally came out around 2003. This is Destructor with Sonic Bullet. Man, this is a fun release. This, as I said, came out in 2003. It's kind of power / thrash together and done in unison and done professionally, done well, and it is just a fun listen. This one gets my neck going, gets my head going, and I can't stop it once I start it. I have to listen to this little EP all the way through. Once I start going with it, it's getting played through. I mean, that's just the way it has to be. It is that good. I was stoked to see this in that little 3 CD lot. Glad to have my hands on it, albeit a reissue, but it is a stellar release. Gotta dig this. I mean, look at that artwork. So, yeah, how could you go wrong with that? And then last but not least, I'm glad that I picked up this little 3 CD lot, because this is a band and an album that I probably never would have checked out otherwise. That's kind of one of the reasons I like doing grab bags. I like Metalhead Box. I like that type stuff. You know, I buy these random big lots because I find stuff that I would have never checked out on my own. This is one of those. This is Wolfblood with Night Riders. This is kind of a mix between crusty kind of punk and speed metal. I've heard this band compared. I heard an analogy for this band that it was like Venom combined with Motorhead doing lots of cocaine. That's exactly what it sounds like. And I mean, this is good. I dig it. It's a little EP. I think this is actually the only release from Wolfblood. It's been out a couple years. Makes me want to hear more. I don't know how they could keep that momentum going for a full length. I would be interested to see if they can pull it off, but it's just fast paced. I mean, speed metal, obviously. Fast paced, kind of crusty speed metal, and it's good. I mean, it's fun. It's good, and I'm left wanting more. So I'm looking forward to hearing some more from this project in the future. That's all I've got for this video. I mean, I say that's all I've been doing. Almost 24 minutes into this one. I'll try to get back on the CD collection soon. It's just starting the new job. I have a longer commute, that type of stuff. I'm trying to reallocate my time so to meet all the needs going around, but I don't want to neglect the channel. So new stuff will be coming soon. I hope you dug some of this stuff. If you got some of this, get in the comments. Let me know what you feel about this stuff. Also anxious to see and hear what some of you guys' favorite releases from 2020 have been. I know some of the other YouTubers are starting to put their list up here and there, as I'm going to have mine up probably next week. I'm off. I only work a few days next week, and then I'm off for Christmas break. So we will have one up next week at some point. I'm doing a top 25, but I am anxious to hear what some of you guys' favorite releases were from 2020. That's all I've got for today. Stay classy, stay metal. I will see you all soon, I promise.